Welcome to the Main Slate Mashup, GPP edition. I am Jamie, as per normal, and on that side is Rich. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. New week, or week 3 now of this season.
Yeah. It
It's
feels like it's gone quickly.
Yeah, it really does feel like it's gone really quickly.
Right, like a sand glass. It's just going through.
I mean, they say time flies when you're having fun, so that's what I assume it is.
Yeah, you are probably right, mate. You are probably right. I'm getting this out of the way as I normally do. Find you on the socials. Where can we find you?
You can find me at kfancy_sports, wherever we have a social media presence. And the website is kingfantasysports.com.
Have you got your TikTok set up yet?
No.
I'm going to ask that every single week. You do realise that?
I will probably set one up just to stop the question.
And then you'll forget when I ask you, and then later on in the show you'll go, God, I did actually set that up.
Yeah.
You can find me on Twitter at Jamie_Byram_ or at SeasonLongDFS. How much are you looking forward to the games this week? Kind of, what's your thoughts on good games, bad games, high scoring, low scoring, some good matchups?
There's some interesting matchups for real life.
Yeah.
Whether they'll be good for fantasy or not, don't know. I'm quite looking forward to the Packers 49ers game. That'll be a good one, I think. I think that'll be a good real life one.
Yeah.
Same Rams, Tampa. That's obviously, like, for me, the blockbuster one probably of the week. I think that could be the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I can see that. It'll be interesting. It'll be a real kind of, well, it's McVay against Brady, isn't it? Again.
Yeah, I mean, they're two great teams. You know, Tampa are absolutely firing at the moment. I know they played the Cowboys, which obviously is mainly an offense, and the Falcons, which is only offense.
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes. But yeah, I mean, the season's shaping up quite nicely. I mean, the Raiders are quite a bit of a shock, I would say. I didn't think that they would be doing as well as they are. I expected them to struggle quite a bit, to be honest. But
I think a lot of people with the Raiders, yes, Gruden, he can be an idiot at times. He's a good coach, but I think letting Carr air the ball out a bit more is in their favour. And I think they need to continue to do that because it's working.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah.
Two big wins.
Yeah, massive wins. So yeah, I mean, season's shaping up quite nicely.
Agreed, mate. Agreed. I'm looking forward to the Vikings Seahawks this week.
Okay.
From real life and fantasy standpoint, I think that's got big shootout potential. Hopefully. Right, as mentioned, this is the GPP edition. So let's get into our lineups this week, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right, Rich. Hit me with your quarterback. Give me his price and who is he playing?
Price is 5,800. The quarterback is Daniel Jones.
Oh, he's going Daniel Jones against the Falcons. Some would say risky. Then you see the Falcons defense and then you go, maybe not.
For me, it is purely because of the Falcons, and also we've seen it a couple of times in his career, but these random rushes that he goes on.
He should have had 100 yards last week if it wasn't for a penalty, I think.
So, yeah, with that in mind, I think interceptions are only -1 on DraftKings, aren't they? So
-1, 4 points per touchdown.
Yeah, so -1 doesn't really hurt too much when he throws 3 interceptions in the first half.
That's why Jameis Winston a couple of years ago was a set in every single lineup. Doesn't matter if he's threw 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions to start with. You just know 4 touchdowns will come.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Just don't question it. Just do it.
Exactly.
So so that's my quarterback for this week.
Interesting. So you've gone 5,800. You've kind of saved a bit of money on your quarterback there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not messing around. My quarterback is 8,300. He's going up against the poorest Jacksonville Jaguars defense. It's Kyler Murray, who I put a tweet out. Kyler Murray is the real life version of Madden Mike Vick. He is. It's just wow moments.
Yeah, I would agree.
And 8,300, yeah, I'll take that. I'll pay 8,300 for Kyler Murray going up against the Jags. Have you seen the Jags?
I have seen the Jags.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, they're an interesting team.
Some people might look at Kyler at 8,300 and go, well, it might be out of sight by half time and then they'll slow it all down, blah, blah, blah. The Jags are slinging the ball around. This Arizona defense I don't think it's as good as it has played. It's played all right. So I think the Jags could still put points up on the Cardinals and keep it a 2-score game so that Kyler is just going to keep his foot on the gas, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah, Kyler Murray, 8,300 for me. Rich, what QBs kind of were you considering?
I did consider a bit of a punt with a couple. So I did consider Matt Ryan in the same game.
Agreed, same with me. I agree, 5,400.
I was also tempted to go Joe Burrow against the Steelers, but
is TJ Watt? Do we know what the updated injury news on that is?
I've not seen any update on that. So we're recording this at 10:10
GMT on Tuesday.
On Tuesday, just in case something comes out immediately after.
I would like Burrow a lot more if I knew TJ Watt wasn't there.
Yeah, I think only for me, I kind of opted against it because the pass rush of the Steelers is pretty good, regardless if they got TJ Watt or not. Like, it's obviously much better with TJ Watt, but the pass rush is still pretty decent. And he looked a little bit flustered last week, so I don't need to put him in a lineup at this point, so I opted against it.
His ownership percentage will be low.
Yeah, that was the thing that kind of made him a bit appealing. And I think Daniel Jones might have a slightly higher ownership percentage because it's the Steelers. No, because it's the Falcons that he's playing against. Sorry. But I think the ceiling's probably higher for Daniel Jones than it is for Joe Burrow. So,
yeah, agreed, mate. Agreed. I like you. I consider Matt Ryan 5,400. That price is super tempting. Going up against the Giants. My other one I considered was Lamar. 7,800 is there much explanation that is needed going up against the Lions? We've just seen what Aaron Rodgers did against them and Aaron Jones. Lamar Jackson is basically a quarterback and a running back. So I think Lamar could have a very, very good day. It was difficult to decide between Lamar and Kyler for me, but I just preferred Kyler's matchup just a little bit more against the Jags.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. I mean, I think with it's quite a nice mix if you can get the rushing bonus with your quarterback and still get a decent chunk. So I mean, you're choosing between the highest priced QBs on the slate for a reason. So I think you know what you're getting with both of those, don't you? So
yeah, And you've got a fairly safe rushing floor with both of them as well.
Yeah.
Which is very, very handy. Running backs. Who's your running back one?
So I paid up here. Went Dalvin Cook, 8,400.
Injury status?
Nah, be fine.
Yeah, okay.
Not a doctor.
And they're going up against the
Seahawks, yeah. So he's so integral to that team and how the offense runs that on this slate there's no Christian McCaffrey. You've got Alvin Kamara, who doesn't look like Alvin Kamara of old at the moment.
Yeah, no, it's that Saints offense.
So it doesn't really leave a lot of elite options. So I've gone Dalvin Cook here.
And we've all just seen what Derrick Henry did to them. So
yeah, turns out if you run down their throat, they can't defend.
No. I haven't paid up for running backs this week.
Okay.
My running back one is Javonte Williams, 4,900 up against the Jets. You're noticing something here with who they compete team they're going up against so far. I've had the Jags and the Jets. He's in a timeshare. It's basically 50-50 with Melvin Gordon. Pretty much exactly 50-50 touches the ball. But he's been consistent. He's 70 odd yards or 60, 70 yards in the last couple of games, I think. The Jets defense is the Jets defense. I think that the Broncos could have this game out of sight fairly quickly. I don't see there's no way that the Broncos are beaten or even get close to being beaten, and no worry whatsoever. So I think that I look at the game and I go, Teddy's going to throw the ball, a couple of touchdowns, then they're going to pound the rock. That's how I'm seeing this game. Obviously, it's probably going to go totally different direction, being Sod's law. But Williams has looked better than Melvin Gordon. And I think as the season progresses, he's going to see more and more and more work and take more snaps and more touches than Melvin. But I think at 4,900, I looked to pay down at running back. And I thought around that price, Javonte Williams, 4,900, going against the Jets. I think it's safe, but it's also got that. I think it's got high upside as well, really.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think it's a pretty good play, especially in PPR. So we've seen, as you said, it's a timeshare, and that's the reason for the price that you've got. But he's looked the more dynamic of the two.
Yes, agreed.
In the open field. So if he gets the ball in a couple of open spaces, then he could break off for a long touchdown. So,
and he's seen a couple of catches a game as well, which is nice to see.
Yeah, So I quite like that selection to be honest.
Who's your running back two?
Tyson Williams.
Ravens. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah, I'm just gonna start. Yeah, he's my running back two as well.
Okay, so we can.
We'll both talk about it.
Yeah, as you said earlier, the matchup is
juicy.
It's pretty nice, and I mean, the Ravens will run the ball, and am I worried about Latavius Murray a little bit, because I think they might just use him to bludgeon them. But I mean, overall, I'm not massively worried to be put off this price tag, 5,800. Pretty decent in PPR, where he's seeming like he's getting the majority of the targets out of the backfield. Yeah, let's go.
He's seen 6 targets last 2 games, 20 rushing attempts, or 22 rushing attempts over 2 games. He only got 11 points, 11.3 points last week, but let's be honest, he should have had a touchdown as well. against Kansas City. So you bump that up to 18 or 17 and a half points. And I think you're fairly happy. But as I say, he's seeing the majority of the work. He's looked a better runner than Latavius Murray for me. Devontae Freeman had one run, I think, last night, or was it? Yeah, it was last night, and he did look good from that one run. But I don't care. They've said that Tyson Williams is going to be kind of. I don't want to say the main guy, but you know what I mean. The main guy there is Lamar Jackson running the ball. Let's be honest.
Yeah, I think it makes sense from a team perspective though, because these other guys, they're not going to be there next season.
Exactly.
Right. So see what you've got in the guy who will be there next season, and then you can make a better roster decision.
Yeah. Back in the day, Devontae Freeman and Lev Bell were obviously 500 times better than this guy, but right now he's obviously looking better than they are. So yeah, Tyson Williams is 5,800 going up against the Lions, and is both of our running back twos. Who missed out for you? Who else are you considering in your running back spots in the GPP?
I did have a brief consideration of Kadero Patterson because of the price tag, but he's going to be, as a result of the price tag and the hype that he's had. I mean,
what's his price? 46?
Something like that.
49, I think.
Something like that. I can bring it up. Yeah, as a result, like I just ultimately I couldn't do it. Couldn't do it to myself because I just 4,600.
Yeah.
You know, the game that he had against Tampa Bay, he obviously made a lot of headlines. He's been included in a lot of waiver wire articles this week as well. He was in mine up on the site. I actually included him last week though, so I'll give myself a mini victory lap on that selection. And actually, I'm not sure if we recorded it when I said it, but I did say to you,
we both said it actually.
Cordero
Patterson is a thing, and we said that after week one.
Yeah, and I picked him up in a bunch of leagues. Then, I picked him up in some leagues during preseason when the Falcons didn't sign another running back. I was like, he's the running back too, so I'm going to pick him up in like the last round of a lot of drafts. So I did briefly consider him, but the price tag means that he's going to be chalky AF. I also considered Clyde Edwards-Helaire again for the same reason, that the price tag.
Right,
but
the price, you just think, is it something? Is something in my head that says about CEH that Andy Reid is like, all right, everyone's doubting him. I'm going to feed him. He's going to see so much of the ball this week.
I just have this like inbuilt thing within me that says Kansas City Chiefs running back is how much? Oh, yeah, you must add him to your lineup. Like that's what it feels to me. Is I've got this like inbuilt compulsion that's a good strategy. But
they're similar prices. So you're looking, you're going to have some people who are going to go, is Patterson at 48,600 or CEH at 4,800? I'm definitely going Patterson.
Yeah.
Why?
He made some splash plays, didn't he?
He did. In fairness, he made some splash plays. He also ran for like 7 times for like 11 yards or some stupid thing.
Yeah, but
it's catching the ball, isn't it? That's the intriguing thing.
You have to remember, in a lot of these like larger field tournaments, you need to kind of have a look at what happened on Red Zone the week before, because that's going to have quite a large effect, I'd say, on a lot of casual players.
Yeah.
In their team selection. So like a lot of them will choose Cordero Patterson because they saw him a lot last week.
And he's fairly cheap.
So I think he'll be probably one of the running backs with like the highest ownership percentage.
So CEH and Patterson were two that you looked at, considered. I've got CEH on mine. I've got 2 others which I was close on. Give me James White over both for me, over Patterson and CEH. White has got White's 4,900. He's going up against New Orleans. Their defense will be better this week. They will hopefully have their defensive coach, their coaches back from COVID, because they were missing quite a few of them. And also, I'm hoping that they might get one or two of the better defensive players back. But he seems, you're not going to get anything flashy out of James White running game. Like, you'll see 4 or 5. Last 2 weeks, he's seen 4 or 5 top attempts rushing the ball. It's that passing game with a rookie quarterback. He's last year you didn't really see it with James White. He's back. James White is back to what he does. Give him 6 to 8 targets a game, and he will do work with that. 4,900. If you get a touchdown on top of that, brilliant. I think the game against New Orleans is going to be a close, cagey game. I don't see it being like a high-scoring game. If you've seen anything of the Patriots, Mac Jones is not going deep. Everything is most of it is fairly short and some intermediate passing. And James White feasts in that area. So he was someone I looked at along with CEH. Another one was Chase Edmonds at 5,700 going up against the Jags. It's the Jags. Chase Edmonds, he's got his role in the passing game secured. James Conner isn't stealing that from him. He's seen a good amount of rush attempts as well. You're kind of hoping he scores a touchdown from 20 yards out, because within 20 yards, it's Kyler Murray. That's where they're going when they run the ball. Who's your wide receiver 1, buddy?
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, yeah.
7,000. He is with him being on the team, I can kind of see why the Falcons let Julio go. He's not quite as polished as Julio is, but that kind of alpha dominant, like, it's my ball and I'll let you see it. He
is such a crisp route runner or route runner, however you want to say it. Route, everyone says it differently.
He's a phenomenal talent, and as we said before, this Falcons offense is going to be passing the ball quite a lot. So with him being the main target for the team, I mean, the only target? No. They've got Kyle Pitts, but
and Cordero Patterson.
But
and Mike Davis, seven targets last week.
But the majority of this offense is going to go through Calvin Ridley. So him as my wide receiver 1.
Like it, mate. I do like it. My wide receiver 1. I'm going back to the well. He's probably my favourite wide receiver in the game, and has been. Probably Julio last. Vying with Julio probably is my favourite wide receiver in the game for the last couple of years. It's Tyler Lockett, baby. Love me some Tyler Lockett. Man, he's so underrated. I think he had a serious knee injury when he played the Falcons 3 or 4 years ago, I believe. 2 or 3 years ago, I think. Boy, is Tyler Lockett looking good. He's 7,400, going up against the Vikings, playing in a dome in Minnesota. I'm not going to say he's the wide receiver 1 there. I can't say it. He is the joint wide receiver 1 with DK Metcalf. It's just the way it is there. Everyone, after week 1, everyone was going with Tyler Lockett going off for 29 points and flipping, 100 yards and 2 touchdowns. I saw countless. It's the DK week now. DK is going to do this. Oh, DK over Tyler Lockett here. No. Tyler Lockett is Russell Wilson's best mate on the field. Tyler Lockett scrambles. Not Tyler Lockett. Russell Wilson scrambles out of the pocket. He's always going to find Tyler Lockett, because Lockett will always find space. They've got that little connection going. The Vikings have been... I had real high hopes for their defense this year. I thought it was going to be significantly better, and it hasn't started off great. I think this has got a shootout potential because the Seahawks defense hasn't looked great either. Average. Kirk Cousins is slinging the ball around. Their rushing defense just let Derrick Henry go off for 18 million yards and 47 touchdowns last week. So yeah, for me, this has got shootout potential. Tyler Lockett has averaged 32 points in the last 2 weeks, 7,200. Give me all of the Tyler Lockett. In fact, you know what? His price, he's 7,400. His price has gone up 200 after scoring 32 points. Yes, please.
Yeah.
Just give me all of the Tyler Lockett. Don't be a DK week, please. Who's your wide receiver 2?
Sterling Shepard. I stacked him with Daniel Jones.
I like that. I like the bringing back. Like it.
Sterling Shepard is he's one of those guys who he seems like you don't really appreciate what he does until you really delve into like his box score or like looking a bit more on his tape, and then you actually appreciate that he's exactly what Daniel Jones needs. Well, not even that he's really good, like he's exactly what Daniel Jones needs. And he's the clear target leader on that team at the moment, and at the price tag of 5,900 on DraftKings where it's PPR, yeah, I'll have it. I mean, I think he might be a relatively popular ad, but equally some things that I've seen are essentially saying that it's not sustainable. He's not that type of player, and he might not be, but against the Falcons, I'm leaning to the side that he will be.
Mate, I'm gonna blow back on that. He's not sustainable. Sterling Shepard, when he's healthy, sees a huge amount of targets in Daniel Jones, and he pretty much always delivers. He's kind of a just set and forget guy in your lineup, and has been when he's been healthy the last year.
Yeah.
I think that's a great play, 5,900. Yeah, going up against the Falcons. Kenny Golladay, whether or not he's still 100% fit, not sure. There's going to be no Evan Ingram. Kadarius Toney is, God knows what he's doing. They're not really using him. Barkley, is he 100% fit yet? Don't know. So Sterling Shepard is basically the reliable, safe pair of hands that Daniel Jones has got there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I love the stack and the bring back with Ridley there, mate. My wide receiver 2, I've got Javonte Williams and Tyson Williams as my running backs. Why not add one more Williams to the team? I'm chucking Mike Williams in there. 6,400. The Chargers gone up against the Kansas City Chiefs. He has seen, let me grab it, pretty similar target share to Keenan Allen. The last 2 weeks, he's seen 12 and 10 targets, touchdown in both weeks. Basically 22 points week 1 and week 2. This game, it's following on from the last time. It's shootout. Surely it can't. How can it not be a shootout? It's Patrick Mahomes against Justin Herbert.
Yeah,
they're going to have to throw the ball.
They are going to have to throw the ball. The thing that always worries me in this individual game is that it always feels to me, at least in recent seasons, as though the Chiefs just know how to beat the Chargers and stop them on offense. Stop Keenan Allen, and even though Mike Williams has seen a decent target share, this offense goes through Keenan Allen. So if you find a way to slow him down, then then it makes the whole team look a bit shaky. So that's my only concern.
He does go through Keenan Allen. Week 1, Keenan Allen had 13 targets. Mike Williams had 12. And last week, Keenan Allen had 10 targets. No, it was not 10 targets, 8 targets, and Mike Williams had 10. So
do you have how many first downs they've had, or no?
No, but
Okay.
you can find it for me right now, can't you, Rich?
Yeah, I'll pull it up, because that's the point I'm making. Is Keenan Allen is the guy that they look to when they need to move the chains. He's the guy they look to. So if he's not able to get free, my concern would be that Mike Williams suffers as a result, even though he's getting the target share. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I genuinely wouldn't be surprised to see Mike Williams, Keenan Allen, and Austin Eckler have 10 plus targets each in this game.
But as you said, like, it's a
the Chargers aren't going to win by scoring field goals.
Yeah, that's true.
So you pulled out that first down for me, eh?
Right. So first downs, oh, okay, that's closer than I thought. Keenan Allen's had 11 first down receptions, and Mike Williams has had 10. So we're actually very close. In fact, really, really similar advanced receiving stats. So the yards after catch, Keenan Allen's 58, Mike Williams 59. Both had break tackle. Keenan Allen's actually had a deeper average depth of target.
Well, wasn't I'll be honest, I haven't seen a huge amount of the Chargers games, the 2 games this year, only brief highlights. But wasn't all the thought around that? Who's their new OC? It's not Lombardi, no? Yeah.
Might be, yeah.
Yeah. That they were going to put Mike Williams in the Michael Thomas role. So his targets are going up. If you're saying Keenan Allen seeing a kind of average depth of target is bigger, is greater than Mike Williams, and that could potentially be the way. I think Mike Williams Keenan Allen is a big body receiver, but Mike Williams is big, strong, can jump up, God knows how.
He's like that. He's got the alpha body type, isn't he?
Yes. I could have fitted Keenan Allen in my lineup, but I went with Mike Williams because I think Keenan Allen's got the much safer floor. But I think Mike Williams has just got that tiny bit bigger upside, and that's really. And I wouldn't have imagined saying that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm adding. I've got a trio of Williams in my lineup this week. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I'll let you know on Monday morning. Who's your wide receiver 3, mate?
I've gone Jamar Chase.
Oh, okay.
You know, he seems like he's becoming more comfortable.
Yeah.
And he obviously has that rapport with Joe Burrow, and he's still third on the team in targets. T. Higgins has 15, Tyler Boyd has 13, Jamar Chase has 11.
Yeah.
But I think 2 touchdowns, touchdowns in consecutive weeks. I think going against Pittsburgh secondary, they can be got at. We've seen that when they played against the Raiders.
Henry Ruggs,
yeah. So we could see a similar kind of break for Jamar Chase. It seems like he's starting to feel more. He's starting to show more and more why he was a first round selection.
Yeah.
So yeah, risk it.
Yeah, no, I like it, mate. I like it. I have gone as my wide receiver 3. I've decided to stack with Kyler Murray. Gone Rondale Moore. Had him in week 1, did all right. Decided to leave him out of my lineups in week 2, didn't go very well. I'm back on Rondale Moore. He's 5,000 going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars. 7 receptions, 114 yards and a touchdown last week. What we saw was he made grown men look stupid on the field. I'm not talking about his touchdown catch. I'm talking about it wasn't a screen. It was kind of a crossing route that he took and then just juked a couple of guys.
Yeah,
he's exciting to watch.
He's a type of player who would find space in a phone box with the Michelin Man.
I genuinely couldn't have put it any better myself.
Yeah. What I will say is, and this is more maybe for your redraft leagues or whatever, he was a popular pickup this week because a lot of people just looked at the box score, but quite a lot of his production came on that one play. So that's something to just be aware of. But like in a GPP where you need to kind of take some of those shots, I can see it. I'm worried about his ownership because of the price tag. Because
he's going to be massively owned.
Yeah, that's the only thing that would make me worry about him. But I mean,
for me, that is chalk I'm willing to eat.
Yeah, the thing is, when we said last week or maybe the week before, like chalk plays are not bad inherently in themselves as long as you're happy with your reasoning as to why, and you're accepting that they are a chalky play.
Yeah.
So, you're going into this selection knowing that he's going to be a very, very popular pick, but that's absolutely fine because you're taking that as part of the overall, assessment of him. So, yeah, fine.
Can you tell me his snap? I've got it in front of me his snap percentage.
So he was on the field for 90% in week 1 and 93% week 2. That's only the offensive snaps. Obviously, he's not used on special teams.
No. He's, I believe I'm right in saying this, he's the leading. He's had the most targets for Kyler Murray through 2 games. More targets than Nuke, more targets than Edmonds, more targets than Kirk. You look confused. I'm pretty certain I'm right on that. He's seen 13 targets through 3 games, 2 games.
Yeah, I mean it's quite possible.
And to me,
I want to just quickly apologise though. I've given you the wrong percentages. I gave you the percentage of Jamar Chase. Rondale Moore's been on less. Much less. 29% for week 1 and 46% week 2. But still.
I'll be honest, I was surprised when you said 90% but you were reading it, so I didn't think it was and that the reason I asked that was to link straight into the target thing. Was he's been on the field 40% of snaps last week, 20% the week before, and he's still seen the most amount of targets. That screams, we want the ball in his hands and we will find a way to get it in his hands.
Most targets and most receptions as well.
He should have had another touchdown last week as well.
Yeah.
Ball was ripped out of the one. That was a bit of a weird one. So.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the biggest things I think with these modern day receivers as well is one thing I'd really like to look at is their yak, because that really gives you an indication of just how much the coaches are trying to get the ball into his hands.
Yeah.
So he has had 182 yards.
Yeah.
148 is yak. Now, that'll be skewed by the fact that a lot of that came on one play, but his average depth of target is 4.1 yards. That's nothing. They want the ball in his hands. And then
they want the ball in his hands.
Tyreek Hill kind of play, right?
Yes. The more and more we talk about Rondale Moore, the more and more I'm just saying he's an automatic smash start. And I know that is so dangerous to say, but everything that we have just said is a massive positive.
Yeah.
And at 5,000, yes, please give me all of the Rondale Moore. Who missed out at wide receiver for you, mate?
I had a couple of people miss out, so I was tempted with Keenan Allen because, you know me.
You love a bit of Keenan.
I love a bit of Keenan. Marvin Jones, I was tempted by with the price. I think he could be worth a punt.
4,900, yeah.
And I was also tempted to go T Higgins instead of Chase.
Yeah,
but I went with Chase in the end because it's something quite nice about just seeing a player wearing number 1 makes me think that they're just better.
Yeah. Who did I look? I had Cooper Kupp 6,800 against the Bucks. Bucks defense is good. The Falcons just did all right against them. There's an obvious connection between him and Matty Stafford, and I think he is basically defense proof. Cooper Kupp. So yeah, he was 6,800. Hunter Renfrow 4,000. The Raiders going against Miami. Miami defense played all right, apart from last week. Did not go very well. They played. I thought they played well in the first game against the Patriots. The defense, I thought they were okay. Renfrow saw, what is it? He's 4,000, and he saw, I can't remember how many targets it was. I think he saw 9 targets in week 1, 7 in week 2. So last week was 5 receptions, 57 yards. At 4,000, you're going to get 10 to 12 points out of him. So you can save a bit of money. I'm quite happy with that. And there's no Josh Jacobs, I reckon, this week again. Check the injury reports. Derek Carr's slinging the ball around. They're getting a little bit kind of all confident. So yeah, I like the price on Renfrow there, 4,000. I think he's a bit of a forgotten man. Everyone's talking about Bryan Edwards. Everyone is talking about Bryan Edwards.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually going to say I'm going to jump off the back of that. So in my flex spot, I have Bryan Edwards at 3,800. His stats are pretty good, and he had a touchdown and another pass that were both brought back through penalties. So his box score could have actually been better than it was. So with that in mind, 3,800. I'll take the gamble.
I'm surprised his price is that cheap still.
Yeah, I feel like DraftKings has some really weird mechanics into their pricing. So they look typically, I think, at box scores and stats, whereas what I'm saying is actually you need to look outside of that, and that's where the value is for him. Because he had those two plays that were called back.
Yeah, I like that play, mate. I did also look at Shepherd, a wide receiver, but I went against it. But so your flex is, you jumped ahead to flex.
Yeah, I did, but yeah, my flex is Bryan Edwards, just FYI.
Right. Who's your tight end, mate? That's the important thing.
Noah Fant.
Yeah, I played Noah Fant last week. I did like it.
Yeah, he's essentially 4,800. Essentially wide receiver, isn't he? Until Jerry Jeudy comes back.
Yeah.
So there's not a lot needs to be said for that. I mean, the matchup is nice as well. Like
it's the Jets. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, quite like it.
I think this is a 3rd week running. I think I'm Carl Pitts, 4,900. Again up against the Giants. He saw week 1. He saw 8 targets. This weekend he saw 6, but 73 yards. The Falcons have got Ridley. There you go. There's your wide receiver core. Russell Gage is I think he's got a bit of a dodgy ankle at the moment, so he was in and out of the game last week. They want to get Carl Pitts the ball.
Yeah.
A touchdown is coming. I can't tell you when. If it isn't against the bloody Giants, I'm not sure if he's ever going to score a touchdown. I think with the Falcons game, I think he's got sneaky defenses are poor. I think there are going to be a fair amount of points. I think Wrigley will do well. I think Ryan will do well. I think Pitts will do well. I'm playing Kyle Pitts as if he's staying around the 5,000 mark until it changes. For me, I love him at that price going up against the Giants. Your flex is Brian Edwards, 3,800.
Yep.
My flex is Marvin Jones, 4,900 going up against the Cardinals. When I talked again about Kyler, I mentioned that I thought what I see is the Jags are slinging the ball around, and I think that they can score points. I'm not saying they're going to keep the game close, but I don't think they're going to try and run the ball. You're going to have to pass the ball. Marvin Jones is it seems to me like he's the wide receiver one there.
Yeah, he is.
He's the more experienced guy. He's Trevor Lawrence. He's looked all right, but kind of some people have been saying, oh, he hasn't looked very good, blah 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 blah. It's number one pick. He should be amazing. Seriously, just give him time. Give him time. I saw some really nice, pretty balls. The touchdown to Marvin Jones last week was lovely. Jones has seen 9 and 11 targets the last 2 weeks, touchdown in both weeks. I think it's a fairly safe floor. And with the upside of 1 or 2 touchdowns and potentially, if Trevor Lawrence gets it right, 100 plus yards.
Yeah.
4,900, I quite like that. Who's your defense, mate?
Arizona Cardinals.
Woo. Price? They're like 24, I'm guessing.
No, they're 3,000.
Holy what? Is that literally because of Chandler Jones?
Well, you got Chandler Jones. You've got JJ Watts there, isn't he? I think this pass rush will be able to unsettle the Jags.
Yeah.
I think it's just that front, really. It's just quite vicious, isn't it?
They're really good first week.
I think a lot of them. I think the Jags having faced up against JJ Watt as well, they'll be aware of how he is, and I think
they have faced up against Von Miller.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is, like, you have Von Miller, but you had Chubb was in and out of the line last week, I think. Yeah. Whereas this is JJ Watt and Chandler Jones. Yeah. And I don't know if they'll have enough to deal with both those, because this offensive line is not that strong.
No. I think everyone can agree on that. My defense, I've gone with the Cincinnati Bengals. 2,100 going up against the Steelers. The Bengals defense hasn't looked too bad. Just me.
It's all right. I think
it looked better than we all thought it was.
I think that says more about our expectations than their performances. But I mean, I actually thought that was like a Ben Roethlisberger shot than a thing of like think the Bengals
combined. It is genuinely it is a combined thing. The Bengals defense has looked better than we thought. They're 2,100 going up against literally the biggest statue in the NFL,
who's now dealing with a pec issue.
Yeah, along with every other issue under the sun, probably, that will come out if he has a bad game.
And also you've got, I'm not seeing the injury news on Deontay Johnson. I heard it wasn't as bad as it first seemed.
Yeah.
But without him as well. Which, by the way, if he does miss time, then consider. Well, I was going to actually consider Washington 4,000.
Okay.
But don't do that.
If Deontay is,
if they even say he's trending towards playing, don't do it, because you want him out on the field if you're going to have him in your lineup. So
exactly. But I think as I say, the Bengals defense has looked better than we thought. 3 sacks in the last 2 games, 3 sacks each game. So they're getting to the quarterback. Steelers O-line, you can get to Big Ben. And what you want Big Ben to do is to try and throw a couple of deep balls, because you know they're not going to get there.
That's very true.
So yeah, I thought 2100. I'm kind of not caring about my defense this week and targeting the quarterback. I did have 300 to spare, but was there any other defenses that missed out for you?
Bengals was one because of the mine was much more of an anti Roethlisberger than a pro Bengals. That was like the main one I considered.
Yeah.
I did really briefly consider the Broncos because they're going up against
4,300.
That's the thing. The price just really put me off straight away.
Yeah.
I also consider the Chiefs against Chargers because they're a team that can get turnovers. They can get turnovers, so that makes them quite appealing. Last but no means least, Washington going against Buffalo.
How many defenses were you looking at? Jesus Christ, you love the defenses this week.
Well, you tell me another week where you're going to get Washington for 2,600.
I don't know. They were 3,900 last week.
Yeah, they're 2,600 because they're going against Buffalo, but that pass rush is still the same pass rush. Yeah, you're going up against Josh Allen who can escape the pocket, but
hasn't looked Josh Allen the last couple of games, has he?
No, but it's still the same pass rush, so they're a consideration.
Cool. It was just the Denver Broncos for me that I considered, but I just didn't want to pay 4,300.
Yeah, the price tag was. I was like, before I looked at the prices, like Denver Broncos, they might be a good team to grab against Wilson. And then I was like, okay, cool. Let's look at the prices. Oh, yeah, no, let's not go for them.
I just can't do it. I think Wilson will be slightly improved this week. He's got to be. You just bloody got to be if you're a Jets fan. Sorry, Matt.
I mean, I kind of almost like it in a way because there was this whole after he played week 1. Oh, he's fantastic. Yeah. Trevor who, and nah, return to earth, mate.
I think Tony Romo put a little bit of pressure on Wilson's shoulders. Didn't he say he sees Mahomes in Zach Wilson?
Yeah.
Oh God! Don't just stop it, Tony. Stop it.
Can we just, as a whole NFL fan, can we just let young QBs be young QBs?
Let them learn.
Yeah, let them learn. Let them breathe.
This is. I'm not trying to seem homerish or anything like that, but not all QBs come out and play like Matt Ryan as a rookie. Matt Ryan won Rookie of the Year, took us to the playoffs. First pass ever was a 60-yard touchdown to Michael Jenkins. Doesn't all happen perfectly like that. Sometimes you have to throw 4 interceptions in 6 passes.
Yeah, just ask Jameis Winston.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
So just give the rookie quarterbacks, rookie players in general, a bit of a break. Rich, remind us where we can find you on socials.
KFantasy_sports, and the website is still kingfantasysports.com.
You always got that wrong, didn't you?
I almost suffered with a tongue twister.
Lovely. You can find me on Twitter at Jamie_Byram_ or at SeasonLongDFS. I'm going to put a graphic in about 12 to 14 seconds of our teams, so you can quickly go to that after this. Rich, thank you for joining me. I will speak to you on the cash game edition of the Main Slate Mashup. If you've watched this, be on the lookout for the cash game edition to be released as a podcast and a video on YouTube as well. I shall catch you soon, Rich. Been a pleasure as per normal.
Always a pleasure, never a chore.
You're lying. Peace out.